Hello, welcome to the Monday Lunchtime Digest for February 16, 2026. I am Micah Perkins, the founder and director of the Oklahoma Counseling Institute, and I'm here just to tell you a little bit about what's going on in the world of mental health, as well as what's going on at the Oklahoma Counseling Institute. So, if we just take a look at what is going on here on our Facebook page, and so we have put in a lot of stories about what's happening here at OCI and also in the world of mental health on our Facebook page. And so, just looking at a couple of our recent posts, uh, here we have the Oklahoma Senate Judiciary Committee unanimously approved Senate Bill 504, which would change the age to marry from 16-year-old to 18 years old. So currently, how the law is written, if a person is 16 years old and they have parental consent, then they can marry. But with Senate Bill 504, then it would change that to 18 years old. I don't know if you remember, but last legislative session, they changed the law requiring the age of consent to be changed from 16 to 18 years old. So that kind of goes along with that as well. So before the last legislative session, if a minor, someone who is 16 years old, had sexual intercourse with an 18-year-old, it was not considered illegal because the age of consent is 16. But now that that has changed to the age of consent to being 18, now if you have an 18-year-old having sex with a 16-year-old, then that is illegal. So that's something that changed during the last legislative session. Also, looking at some news that came up. So, recently, it was reported that the Oklahoma domestic violence homicide has reached a 7-year low in 2024, and that the homicides fell from 50 to 31, and it was the second lowest number in the past decade. Here is the link to where you can read more about that report. So even though the domestic violence homicide for Oklahoma has reached a 7-year low, Oklahoma is still considered to be very high in the nation regarding domestic violence. So it looks like we're moving in the right direction. That's good, but still there is a lot of work to be done for sure. Looking at some stories here at KOSU, this came out this morning. The Oklahoma Department of Mental Health has finalized purchase of their new behavioral health campus. And so if you've been following along with this story, they've been looking at replacing Griffin there in Norman, and they had looked at a couple of different options. They wanted to have, it was going to be called the Donahue Center, which was going to be on the OSU OKC campus. They were going to build a whole new facility there, end up that becoming much more expensive than what they had anticipated. So they have recently bought this facility that was vacant there on the southwest side of Oklahoma City. It was owned by SSM Health, and they recently, the Catholic Church has recently sold that to the state. So there's not anything in this article on when they are looking at when that facility will be able to be opened, but it is moving in that direction to where they have now purchased that facility, and it will be the replacement for Griffin and Norman. There again, it's on the southwest side of Oklahoma City. So some other news, recently got a grant for Oklahoma City Fire Department. Mobile Integrated Healthcare recently received a grant for $572,000. And so that is going to allow them to be able to hire more peer support specialists in those positions that will be able to leave Narcan kits, other equipment, supplies needed for the treatment of opioid addiction. So that's fantastic. Anytime that there is more money invested and more people are being able to be hired to help our citizens, that is always a great thing. And so that is something, from my understanding, the state legislature is really looking at expanding the role of allied mental health professionals. So your peer support specialists, case managers, other non-licensed people, to be able to try to have them to be able to provide more services. So because there is such a shortage of licensed mental health professionals, not necessarily LPCs, but the other professions, so psychologists, licensed clinical social workers, licensed alcohol and drug therapists, because there is uh, a deficit of those professionals. Then they're looking at being able to give allied professionals more leadway in what types of services that they can provide. So this is just another thing that is moving in that direction, which again, more people to help more people is always a good thing. So looking at what's going on here at Oklahoma Counseling Institute. So save the dates for our spring and summer trainings. So we have the dates there. So our first is going to be March 6th from 9 to 12:15. Also going to have a March 6th from 2 to 5:15. And both of those are at the Halo Project here in uh, Oklahoma City, just right off of Memorial Road. So right before you get to Edmond. I'm not sure if it's actually a Oklahoma City address or Edmond address. I want to say it's Oklahoma City, but it's going to be there at the Halo Project. The topics will be announced soon. We're really excited to start doing our in-person workshops again. Also, we have Saturday, April 4th at 9 a.m. to 12:15 and also 2 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. as being another workshop that we will have. And then, of course, we'll have the Summer Super Summit May 6th, 7th, and 8th. This is the first year that we'll be doing a pre-conference on May 6th that will be focused on all things TBRI. So if you're interested in learning more about trust-based relational intervention, then that's going to be the focus of the pre-conference. We're really excited to do that this year. You'll be able to get all 20 of your CEs there at the conference. We'll have 3 different tracks. For a track for children and adolescents, a track for adults, and then a track for drug and alcohol specific. Of course, you can go to whichever workshops, breakouts you want to go to. You don't have to stay on the same track, but just to have those available, that if you have a particular interest, if it's children and adolescents, or if you need drug and alcohol CEs, then you'll have the workshops that you need to get those requirements. And then also on Saturday, June 6th, we'll have in-person workshops, and then we'll have also Saturday, June 13th, in-person workshops, and Friday, June 19th, in-person workshops. So save the date for those. We will have the signups for those up soon. We have been working on moving to our new website, and we're still in the process of that. There is a lot that's going on in the back end to move things over, but we hope to have that up really soon. Just please make sure that if you're taking any on-demand courses, that you have those completed by February 27th, just so we can make sure that as we move to the new site, that you will be able to have all your certificates and things like that on the new site. So again, really excited about that. Hope to have that up this week. I don't know if we'll be able to have it done by this week, but we are working frantically behind the scenes to try to get that up and going. So that is all that is going on here at OCI and also the Oklahoma Counseling Institute. And we thank you guys so much for watching, so much for being a part of us. And anytime that you tell a colleague about us, that you take one of our on-demand courses, you attend one of our in-person workshops or the Summer Super Summit, anytime you do any of those things, then you are supporting our mission of providing quality, continuing education for Oklahoma mental health professionals. Thank you so much for your help. Everyone have a good week.